We're starting with the 4-layer knives, and actually, this is going to be something of a family of knives for fishermen. In this first part, we'll only look at the Fisherman series, and next week, we'll look at the Angler series. And before we begin, I wanted to apologize because the artificial intelligence isn't doing a great job with the translations. I always provide subtitles. Anyway, I take the time to do the full subtitling myself. Having said that, let's take a look at the Victorinox for Fisherman. And here we have one of the main features, which is the little fish on the handle scale. Since this one is newer, it's painted on, but on the older ones, it was inlaid. We could also see blue scales like the one we saw last week. And in this case, since we're looking at the Fisherman family, we'll set the Angler ones aside to wait until next week. Well, to be part of the Fisherman family, the first thing it must have is the Phillips screwdriver. Since it's new, in this case, it will already have the slot for the pin. Here we have the pin. We'll push it all the way in because we tend to leave it sticking out a bit, and when we close the Phillips, we bend it, which can damage the handle. But back to today's Victorinox, the Fisherman. In this case, the identifier number is 1.47. 33 bill? And as we said, it must always have the Phillips screwdriver. If it has a corkscrew, it's an Angler. Since these are some of the latest ones, and it's well past 1991, it will have the multi-purpose hook and the reamer with a sewing eye, which wasn't the case back in 1952, which is when these knives first came out. All right, let's move to the main part. These basic tools, the can opener with the small screwdriver, and on this side, the bottle opener with the wire stripper and the larger screwdriver. Up until the 70s, it would have had a scraper. Here, this one doesn't, because as I repeat, it's one of the newer ones. And being new, the blade will only have the 3 lines and officier, Suisse, on the back. The small blade. Over here we have the scissors. The scissors with the yellowish bolt because it's from after 2008. Here we have the characteristic tool of the knives with the little fish. Well, of the 4 or 5-layer ones with the fish, because the Swiss champ also has it, for example. Very well. So we say it has 4 functions. The function, let's see, I want to clearly show the ruler in centimeters, and here we have it in inches. This is the fish scaler, this is the hook, disgorger. And in some cases, a cheese stopper is used, but I'll tell you about that addition in a moment. Let's look at its measurements, and to start, we'll go to the dealer's scale. 9 foot. Gatle is the weight of this newer Fisherman. Let's see the width. The width is very important. I'm using this one because they said the other one wasn't visible. There it is. 19 millimeter. 91 millimeters in height, obviously. Some variations of the Victorinox Fisherman. Well, the original model could come with blue scales or red scales with an inlaid little fish. Initially, it was going to come with a clip point blade. Well, obviously the Phillips was square, and it had the all without a sewing eye. As I told you, it wouldn't have a bottle opener. Rather, it would have a scaler. It would have four functions, that is, the wire stripper, the screwdriver, the bottle opener, and the scaler. As I was saying, it was initially called, back in 1952, a thumb F, the 135 model. It obviously didn't have the multi-purpose hook, and as I told you, it could come with blue or red scales. And it makes sense for it to come out in 52, since that was the year Victorinox models came out for the first time. With a Phillips and the scale tool, which at that time didn't have the ruler in centimeters or inches. Okay? To clarify, there was also the 135 model FM, meaning to the same tools of the 135 model, a metal file with a metal saw was added. Let's remember that at that time, the file didn't have a nail file or nail cleaner. It was just a file and metal saw. Another known model is the 136 F, which some call the Fisherman Plus, also a special edition of the 136F model. It was manufactured for the cheese company Switzerland Swiss, where one could acquire this model with specials. Scales, of course, by turning in cheese, coupons plus cash. And another variation is the Master Fisherman, which added pliers to the fisherman's tools. This model, those were the versions of this model. If you liked the video, I hope you subscribe to the channel or leave me a nice like. And if you liked it a lot, don't hesitate to join as a member. Members get other types of videos and other things. I wanted to ask those who are anglers. I'm not one to fish. If you really like the Fisherman model or prefer an angler or another model, because one wants to know if they actually live up to these things. I saw in a short they sent me that the fish scaler does its job very well, but I haven't seen them used much. You know, if you want to see the model with one less layer, you can watch it in this video. Yeah, yo. And in this video, we take a look at the angler